Hey kids, how's everybody doing? Mark Miller here. Rory's on the phone with me, on the Skype call with me. Rory, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing fine, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing good. Fred, you okay? Fred says he's okay. Excellent. Cool. Let's kind of get right into it. So yesterday, I was feeling a little under the weather. Same thing today as well. And I was like, you know, we got to a point where I was not able to figure something out. And sometimes that happens, and then, you know, maybe a little time goes by and I go back and I figure it out, but that did not happen yesterday. So we're going to pick up right in the middle of essentially a bug from yesterday and try to find it. I believe the bug is close. It's close by this line of code and this line of code. I've essentially got it potentially down to 2 lines of code. I'll show you what it is, and I think as with any bug that's hard to find, we're going to have to build some diagnostics to be able to visualize and see where the problem is. Sure. I could be totally wrong. It could have nothing to do with either one of these 2 lines. I know the last thing I did, though, so Pudding's on, and I'm like, all right, I think I'm going to end the show. And Pudding's like, that's not in the spirit of the show. So I went back and I said, well, okay. And I looked at what was wrong, and I said, well, what's wrong looks like it could be fixed by adding this to this part on the left. The part on the left feels right to me. The part on the right is I don't understand why it's needed. But when I added this, it kind of fixed things, but then it flipped things around. And to be clear, what we're trying to do right now is we made changes to accommodate the wrapping of the icons on the upper level. And I'll show you that because we've got wrapping when we're adding them. Let me just kind of get in and I'll show you so you see what I'm talking about here. So if I bring these guys up here and I see, like, let's bring in one more, number 10 here. And now we'll add conditions to number 10. If I bring these up, they wrap correctly as they're being added. So that's not my problem. My problem is when I remove one, I need all the others to slide into the right spots. That's not happening. If I, by the way, if I do remove it up here, okay, that's different.
That's almost inverted order.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what's interesting is I wasn't expecting that to actually work. As I recall, it did not work when we were trying this before. Let me get rid of poisoned and see if there you go. So you can see we got some problems. Okay.
Right, that looks as if it is shuffling them up, but in the opposite direction to that which it should.
Yeah, there's also a miscalculation on where the row is, the starting row. Yeah. So anyway, those aren't working. By the way, I should have done this. Let me bring it back up again. I'll bring it up. We'll get rid of the first one. That seemed to work. Let's get rid of the next one, which was charmed. Yeah, that's at the very end. Okay, so that works. Yeah, it swaps the order of them. Shouldn't have done that either. Get rid of prone in the upper left. And there, you can start to see we have the problems again. But if I hit the restack button, let's try that. Restack works.
Restack knows the correct order, yeah.
Seems to work. Yeah, and you're right. It does seem to be in the same order in which they're added. Which means if I clear them all and add them in reverse order, the restack, hopefully, is that going to fix that too or not? I'm not sure if that's going to fix that. There we are. Let's take sleep, get rid of sleep. So it kind of inverts them. If I do a restack.
Oh.
Let's see. Is it going the right way in reverse order? It kind of looks like it is. What do you mean?
I feel like restack is keeping them in the correct order.
Say that again, Rory?
I feel like restack is the correct order. It's just the inverted numbers because you placed them in that order.
Yeah.
So restack is keeping them in the order that they were added.
Yeah. Yeah. The numbers there correspond to the number of the... Oh, Karen, can you close the door or maybe let me close that? Okay, thanks. All right, so that's that. But what we decided to do, and I think it's still a good idea, is we decided, you know what, we're going to come back to that problem in a minute, because that's where we're trying to get to work. But, is it wet in here?
Someone leave the tap on?
I don't know, like there's some kind of leak somewhere, I think. Oh no, that's right, turn it off. Wrong.
You'd like to showcase?
I'm going to grab onto one of these all the way.
Very easy scooping.
been able to hop on lately. Well, that's all right.
Welcome back, Deepwater. Good to see you.
You know, I'll warn you, Deepwater. I am not. Normally, I'm running at a faster clip. I'm like, and a higher level of energy. I'm a little low energy today and yesterday, and so you know, we'll try to work through all of that. So I don't know how brilliant the code's going to be today, but we'll see. We'll do our best. So anyway, the wrapping up at the top.
You've shown us one bug, but you're saying that we're going to leave that and maybe look at something else?
Yeah, we're going to look at the, because what I wanted to do instead was I wanted to, let's do this. Let's do a target lady and now go in and give her conditions. I want to get this working again because these are both using similar methods that we refactored to be able to support. They used to work fine in a single stack. Now we want to support multiple columns. That's what our goal is. So if I take out blinded, they reverse, but at least they get in the right spots. Let's take out grappled now. And there, now we have the problem. So it's like the first one's okay. If I hit the refresh on it, hold on a second.
I've got to say, these feel like the same problem.
Yes. No, I think they are. But so we fix it on one, we'll fix it on the other. If I hit the restack now, there it gets the right order. Now if I hit deafen to get rid of it, so the restack fixes the problem, and then because take a look at this. Let me clear all a second. Let me add them one more time, just so it's very clear. So I'm adding all of these are up.
Add in the right order.
If I remove blinded, and now I remove grappled,
resorts them afterwards, but the wrong way round.
Yes, and now with it incorrectly sorted, if I remove grappled, it will have a problem. And now frightened and fatigued, right?
But arguably, had those been in the other order, that would still have been correct behavior because you'd have been removing from the top.
Yeah, everything seems to work if I do it the other way, which I don't quite understand. So, so if I take out blinded now, and now what's also interesting, well, let's restack it, and let's see if taking out at 2 now works. So 2 is deafened. If I take out deafened, it works. Now we got to restack again. Yeah, it's a little bit bizarre. So let's take a look at that. That means that...
feels like the first error is immediately after having deleted something.
Yeah, let's see if we go after that. Let's just try that and just get the order right, because maybe that's more along what our problem is here. So remove condition with animation. Oh, wait, one thing I got to do, I just remembered, is turn on my air conditioner in here, because I left it on last night. I walked in the room cold, and I was like, oh, so I turned it off. So remove condition with animation. These are the sprites to remove. That's the sprite to remove. These are the sprites that are, I think we're searching through. Get earlier sprites. So here, the earlier ones are the ones below. The sprites above, this is the problem. Get sprites above. The result of this is stacking in the wrong order, sorting in the wrong order. So check this out. Get earlier sprites does this right here.
So do we just have an inversion of logic?
No, I think this logic is correct when we're not... Look at this. I can't extract this into its own method. Ugh. I hate it when there are returns in here, and it's... If the block I have is the last thing in the method, it doesn't matter that there are returns here. You should be able to extract it. This is an incorrect logic. We actually, when we wrote CodeRush's extract method, we had this working, and for a while in places we were available when Visual Studio wasn't. Visual Studio got up to parity with CodeRush, but then we moved over to the Roslyn engine, which meant we went with their extract method instead of ours. But now in TypeScript, it's got the same problem that we had in C#. This is a method that is easily extractable, but somehow code is telling it shouldn't be available. So we're not able to see it. So at any rate, I think I'll manually extract this, I guess. So I'm going to say return this dot sort sprites. And let's create that method down here. F for function, sort, sprites, paste. I need a world view. that I'm bringing in, and I need some sprites.
Can I make a suggestion, Mark? If we were to take the conditions away from Lady and give them to Little Cutie instead, then they'd appear slightly out the way of the code.
Oh, let's do this.
Would make life a little bit.
Let's do that for now. No, do that. Say that all the time, Roy, if I'm not paying attention to this. And I can also get rid of all those across the top too, so we can do that.
That's cool.
All right, so we want to pass in the sprites below, and sprites below is an array of sprite proxy. Okay, and that means we're going to throw in something like that. So there's my sprites. There's my worldview.
Okay.
That looks like that's all I need to pass
That could
in.
be it. That's
Okay.
nice. Sort of reinforces your point that it should have been extractable pretty easily.
Yeah. So I think this code is correct. I think it could be reversed, but I think it's correct. What I know is that where are we using this? Hold on. Get sprites above right here. This is returning it incorrectly. And so what I want to do is I want to call sort sprites on the results of this thing is what I want to do. What is this thing? It's an array of sprite proxy, same thing as we had before. So let's go declare that. Earlier sprites. And say that's equal to this right there. And then I want to say return earlier sprites. And then I think I want to get a flipped worldview on it again. Is what I want to think I want to do. Oh, no, wait, I don't, because I've already got worldview. Flipped worldview is the opposite of it, is what it is. So what's my problem here? What is going on here? Const declarations must be initialized. Oh, okay. Fine. There you go. How's that? Everybody happy? It's on one line now? Okay, so let's try that.
Yeah. So despite a little bit of refactoring, all we've actually got is an additional sort sprites call.
Yep. All right, so there is... All right, we're going to put on miles, you said. That was our suggested what we're going to do. All right, so looks like lady's also targeted. Let me turn off lady for a second there. Go back into conditions. All right, let's actually clear all. Oh, clear all only affects miles because it's not lady. Condition, clear all. Back up into lady. Turn her off. Back down into conditions. All right, here we go. All right, so now let's take out blinded.
Okay.
It still flipped them.
Still resorts.
That's weird, because that really feels like that sort sprites by sending in the different worldview. Get earlier sprites does sort, right?
So worldview normal is gravity down, right? Pulling things to the bottom. So normal would be our characters, our normal live action characters.
Right.
Like.
These right here.
Flipped is our NPCs and effectively gravitates upward. So in the particular case where we're calling, what is our start point? It's coming in from somewhere higher, isn't it?
We're the start point. You mean is the bottom of the screen? I think is what you're talking about.
Well, I'm trying to establish that the right data is coming in the first place. So you're calling whatever method it is that's calling sort sprites. I forget what the name is. Is this the get earlier?
Get earlier sprites, call sort
Right.
sprites, but then we're resorting it at the end. My contention is that the get sprites above call was failing to sort. That was my contention, and so we're swapping them around.
In theory, that's being called in this case with a worldview of normal. We then flip that value and pass the flipped value into get earlier sprites. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
but then we restore and use the normal world view for the sort sprites.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
That seems reasonable, doesn't it?
Well, unless I was wrong about get sprites above, which is a possibility. Let me do one other thing, because we saw this behavior before where if I turned it on and then turned it off, the refresh wouldn't take. I'm going to just hit this button here just to see if because it seems like we should see a different behavior there.
Okay. Yeah, so if the behavior hasn't been altered effectively.
Yeah, let's take out charm. It was
Ooh,
it.
there we go.
That looks like that was it.
Good call.
Holy cow. Oh my gosh, did we totally fix it?
I like that. It all works so well.
I like it when, the logic, wow, that's crazy. So now I've got I used to be able to just turn it on and off inside of OBS and it would get a refresh, but now it looks like the code generation is somehow not getting picked up. So I've got to somehow come over and do a manual one by hitting this refresh cache of current page. It's that button down there at the bottom, right over there by my thumb. That's the button I have to hit now, it seems. All right, so let's just double check it. Let's take out charmed, which is the second one up. That looks right. Deafened. Let's take out frightened. Yeah.
It's all so good.
Oh my god.
Okay, so now the question is, did that have a positive effect also on our inverted world?
I want to test this a little bit. I agree with you, but let me just test a little bit more. Let's take out fatigued. Ooh, there was a little bit of a flip.
There was some lag on that.
Well, no, but it took charmed and took it down. But I might be okay with that. Like, let's take out blinded now. Does everything now drop to the bottom? Oh, interesting. It's still not bad, though, I think. In other words, I'm still not having a problem where it's broken yet. Do you know what I mean? I guess I can accept the reordering if it doesn't actually break. So I'm going to keep testing. I'm going to keep throwing more stuff at it like this and taking stuff out and making sure we still are looking good. So I'll take out incapacitated and I'll take out deafened. I'll take out poisoned. Whoops, that's not poison. That's poison right there. We'll throw in, yeah, I'm just going to keep hitting. And every time I hit, we should get to a point where I got like maybe a little bit of a problem there. Do a restack here. I want to make sure I'm not just hitting different buttons. Okay, we can get to that state. We've seen that before. If I hit restack, though, we should get to here. That's kind of a button mashing kind of state. If I'm taking and adding away. But then I can hit that button to get around it. So I'm okay with that too. Again,
effectively, that is a separate bug to what we were trying to fix here.
Yeah, although I feel like 2 just came away just now. I feel like it dropped 2, and I wish I could roll back the time and see it. If I was fast enough, I could get on the stream and look at it maybe. And
I think my stream's delayed that much. It's pretty quick today.
Yeah, I just lost 2 again. I am losing 2. See paralyzed? It's got 2 numbers drawn over it. Look to the left of paralyzed. 2 numbers are drawn over it, meaning there's 2 in that place. If I get rid of paralyzed, there it is. There's fatigued right there. Is there one behind fatigued? No. Yeah, so we still have a problem, and this problem is
So is this
not
the
great.
2 dropped into the same location as each other?
Yeah.
When there's charm. Yeah.
Yeah. So we still have a problem. So if I think I'm seeing 2 removed, I'm seeing 2 removed. In other words, one's being removed, the other's dropping into the wrong spot. So let's see if we can figure out that. So that one looks good. Frightened by itself. It's there. It's a button. It seems like if they're all sitting there and I get rid of them, it seems okay, but
it's like steady state is a good start point from which there will be no bugs. However, button mashing can lead to unpredictability.
Well, there we got one right there. So there
wasn't especially difficult. What did you do there?
I stacked a bunch up. They were maybe in the wrong order. Let me clear them all and let's see if I can duplicate it. So I've skipped incapacitated and invisible. So I hit everything in the right order. So you can see grappled jumps from number 5 to number 8 paralyzed.
Yes.
So now I don't know if this is the case or not, but I'm going to try now hitting incapacitated and invisible, bring them up on top. So now we've got them out of order conditionally. Yep. Shouldn't make a difference in terms of sorting because we should be using the final Y position here. But now I'm going to hit frightened to get rid of it. Yeah, that wasn't it. Okay, I was hoping that was maybe it. Fatigued and paralyzed 8. Yeah. 6, invisible. No, incapacitated 6. Yeah, we're not able to duplicate this thing very well.
We watch extra hard and nothing happens. It all just works.
Yeah. It's not bad, but it's like worrisomely edge case is what it feels like, and that's never good. Right? It's like at first we thought, oh, we fixed it. The thing that does seem pretty clear, though, is when we get into... Let me just mash the buttons here a little bit so we can get to a state that is... All right, there we go. All right. The thing that's good is when we get in this state, the restack seems to always fix it.
Yes.
What if we called restack after we knew everything had landed?
Yeah.
You don't like it. You want to just fix it. I agree with you. I agree.
I mean, it'll work, right? It will work.
Oh, look at that. Do you see that?
Ooh.
Poison moved up. I got rid of the one above it, and poison moved up. Let me hit restack.
That's weird. I was about to say that it looked like maybe things were going wrong when one thing was falling into a position and then there was a new thing coming on that had already targeted somehow that position. But this is entirely different. Something should not fall up.
Yeah, no, I
not
agree
in
with
this
that.
situation.
Yeah, so I'm going to shoot one up and I'm going to get rid of poison at the same time. So I'll put sleep up and get rid of poison. Yeah, so that seems reproducible right there. Shoot another one up, get rid of blinded. Looks like there are 2 in blinded. Look at the number to the left.
Sleep came on understanding that there were others in that gap that aren't being rendered there, but that's where they physically should be.
Maybe.
That's why when you call restack, things get put back where they should be.
Here, let's bring up unconscious and I'll get rid of blinded at the same time. That was weird. That was unusual and unexpected. Let me hit restack. Yeah. All right, let's clear all these. I want to just go over. Let's go look at, see what the impact is on the other side of things here. Come back over here and let's see what we got here.
Okay. Did not break the original add. That's nice.
Yeah, add is in good shape. Okay, so
that's inverting still.
Yeah, this one's inverting, so I think we need to fix this. If I hit restack, yeah. So we correctly fixed the inversion on the player side, but we need to fix the inversion down here. Once the inversion is fixed, let's see what happens when I take it out.
So is get sprites above called only for the player variation? Because that's where we fixed that, right?
I think so, yeah. Let's double check that.
Is there an equivalent?
Yeah, it's only called from one. Well, it's called from remove condition with animation, which is now actually it should be called as well by the other because it's called from here, which is called from here, which is called from remove condition, which is here. So it should actually be called from both places.
Okay.
So what
algorithmically, is there just the possibility we're not passing in the inverted world view to one of those calls?
No, I don't think that's the case, but I do think what's more likely is that wait. Yeah, what's more likely is that we are is that our sorting code is completely the opposite of what needs to. Although wait, am I calling get sprites above from remove condition with animation? I am. So does that mean, hold on, let me just, let me comment out this a second and then replace it with this. I want to see what the behavior in the top level looks like when we do make that change. This is on our Dragon back overlay.
Did we force the refresh on that?
I'm about to. We did not. Oh, wait.
So our fix might have just simply not been running?
Hold on. You're right.
Similar to the front.
You're right. We need to double check that we forced that. to make sure that, because that would be awesome if that was the case. Let's do that. Good.
I'd like that.
Really, yeah, I'd be a fan of that as well. All right, so let's try it now. Let's get rid of deafened. That was it, Rory.
There we go.
That was totally it. Thank you. Okay, that's my favorite bug fix right there, by the way. Okay, so get rid of this. I don't know why I was going down there. Well, I do know why. So this feels good to me right here. This is what I want to see. If I get rid of incapacitated there, right over to the left in the middle, right there in that row. That looks good. If I get rid of paralyzed, that looks good. Poisoned. Wow. So
that's just all working.
Yeah, which is unusual because yesterday, with the same code, essentially, it was not working.
So what is different between the execution of the NPC variety and the actual player variety? Because I'm not seeing the bug. I mean, we're not mashing buttons, I suppose, so perhaps there's a race condition or something.
No, I'm actually convinced the bug is here and we'll see it. I just wanted to go through all those. Let me mash. Start mashing buttons. Okay, there we go. So now we've got a state where it's not great, right? We've got a gap.
At least
in
we
there.
have consistency, though.
When I'm in this state, I think things don't go well when I remove. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Okay, this seems to be working better.
That was weird, the two moving.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of maybe sorting by... Well, I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure. I think I rationalized that. Ooh, there we go.
Okay.
That's essentially the equivalent of the bug we saw before.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea. I'm not proud of this idea, but the idea goes like this. We set a delay, a timer. In the timer, we check to see how's everything landing. And if it's not right, we invoke a restack like that. So if the problem occurs, it'll only be a temporary problem. Which from, look, I'm not shipping this to anybody. I don't care.
No, that's...
And I can also hit the restack button manually as well, but I was thinking, well, maybe I want to have it automatically figure this out. Also, another point of view on this. Oh yeah, there we go. That's not working well. I don't like that.
You just did one there though, didn't you?
Yeah, I got rid of the first upper left, and then it didn't fill in the spot.
What was it, the standard 7-ish, the first 7? I'm just wondering if that's reproducible.
We had two
you weren't mashing there at all.
We had two on top of each other.
Oh, we'd already hit that. Okay.
And when I got rid of the first one slipped over to the left of it. I think the 13 slipped in, is what it did. Yeah, my guess is if I mash and I get to okay, so here I think yeah, it sure was. If I hit restack now with the restacked, everything works when I try to remove one. Oh, look at that. Not the case. What happens when I get rid of 6 incapacitated? And then the 3 is overwritten. I think the 1.
Right, it's the 1, yeah. Every time we think we've got a handle on even what the definition of it going wrong is, there's some new variation.
Yeah, and I'm like, I feel like the amount of effort it's going to take to really get a handle over this is somewhat daunting. We are going to have to really create some kind of real visualizer into the situation to get it. That might be what we do on today's show, is we do that.
Is there any benefit? Because the number we're displaying is, I think, the frame index on the source sprite. Is there any benefit to displaying the theoretical positional index of something? So it's displaying in the 3rd position, but it might have a number 2 on it for some reason. Does that help? Or is it just always going to be consistent with where it physically is right now?
I'm not sure. Is the answer to that. Design Pattern's also asking, hey, might the error be in the restack logic? We can look at that. I don't think it is, because we've been in the situation. If I get rid of 14, we've been in the situation before where if I get rid of the unconscious one in that position, nothing moves forward. That's kind of what we're expecting, There's the
And
restack.
actually, the restack logic seems to have been helping us get back into a steady state in most cases.
Yeah, in most cases, but not all.
Not all.
So this is also weird right here. So like we do this. So if I do this and throw one out there, it actually puts it in it's in the right spot.
That's the right place, yeah.
But the others are in the wrong place. And I think this is, everything in there is in a fair place. Yeah, it's essentially a fair place. Restacking just moves everything around in a different sort order.
See, I'd be curious to know if the internal data, let's say there are two tiles in the same physical location, which should never be allowed to happen, right? Does the internal data show both of them as being in the same place?
Yeah,
Do they
well,
have that index at that time?
the internal data right now, we're not actually tracking the index on those. The internal data is just final X and final Y.
Okay.
That's the internal data.
And final X and final Y is like a target. It's the determination of where it should be.
Yeah.
So there is no point at which the final X and Y of one tile should match another.
That's true. So do you want to do this? Do you want to, like, here's another way is, once we just go through and check, do like a validation check in where we're putting everything. And if the validation check fails, then we go to restack.
Could do.
That's like, I think, a fair approach, right? This is actually a really good example where this approach could actually solve the problem, right? You know, a lot of times when you're approached with a problem like this, you I guess have a couple of options. You ship the bug, you go after the bug to try to find it, or you repair the bug. You detect and repair the bug. And usually the last choice is not desirable, right? Because you're still in, there's a moment where the bug exists until it's detected, found, and fixed. But this is actually an example where I think it actually is not bad in that
Well, it's a very much non-mission critical piece of code.
Right.
You know, nobody's life hangs in the balance on the basis of this.
Yeah.
Well, not literally anyway. And as you say, we can detect that it is in a bad state and just fix it. And the level of effort on the part of the system running and on the part of us actually writing that code is probably less than in any kind of other solution. So it is a patch or a hack or what have you, but it's within a kind of acceptable bound.
Yeah, we're going to do it immediately after we do the stack, because as we're animating the final X and Y's, those are known before they land. So the other thing we can do as well, Rory, is when we detect they're off, we could use that as kind of a break point or a launching point for diagnostics data. We might end up fixing the bug anyway in the process of writing code to fix the data.
So
design
we
patterns.
know how to identify state that is inherently wrong.
Yes.
This is a good thing.
Yeah. Design pattern says sounds good, much better than the timer solution, my humble opinion. I would totally agree with that. I feel the exact same way. It's way better. So let's look at that. Let's kind of go back. Our main entry point is that it is, got to go to remove condition. This is kind of our main entry point for update conditions. So this is where we go through and we either remove or we add. And so a couple ideas. One of my ideas is, hey, if this dot, whoops, get my fingers in the right keys. This dot stack has errors, right? Then, you know, maybe potentially we could do a break kind of thing. What is it? Debugger dot break. Is that right or no? Just debugger call, I think, is what we do over here in TypeScript, right? So something like that we could do. If stack has errors, then debugger, and we just jump in. Yep. That's kind of an interesting approach. We could also do, you know, this dot, restack, NPC. Well, we didn't need to know which conditions they are. We don't know if they're player or NPC, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah.
We could interrogate worldview, and if it was flipped, we would know it was the NPCs. So we could kind of do that. But that's another potential fix right there. So let me just write this down here so we can kind of, I'm kind of it's almost like I'm pseudocoding right here, right? So this is going to be, hey, if this worldview is equal to world, give me the rest of it. View dot normal. Then we're going to say this dot restack. Or you know what? No, we're just going to say we want to do it outside of the for loop, right down here. So if we, like for example, we could say
yes,
has errors is equal to true, and do this as a has errors, set that equal to false. I really want that template, that F template to work for me there. And I've never, okay, and then down here we say, hey, if has errors, then if this dot worldview, no, worldview is passed in. Sorry, if worldview.
Do we need to detect stack has errors during the for each, or can that just be taken out as well?
Well, it could be, but it's really interesting if we're going to go here. If we're going to go to the debugger,
true. Yeah.
I want to know exactly what just happened, like before and after. Right, if we wanted to hunt the bug, we would use this if we wanted to hunt it, right?
Yeah.
The bug, it would be this. And then you know, maybe we'll do this instead. I think I'm actually not going to hunt the bug is what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to get rid of this for now. Here, I'm going to move it out down outside, just like you're suggesting. So we'll just do something like that.
Detect and fix the facts.
Yeah, then we're going to say this dot restack. We want restack player. If it's normal view, restack player conditions. And do we have all the things we need? We do not have them here. They're not parameters passed in. So maybe we have to do it outside of this. Update conditions. Where are you being called from? In a couple places. 3 places it looks like. Update player conditions. Yeah, I want to do it inside, which means we're going to pass more parameters to it. We might do some cleanup on this episode too if we get this working, to turn this into a single object that we pass in. That right there. Okay, so what do we need here for restack player conditions? We need the get player X. Geez, we need a nameplate renderer too.
Wow.
Those things are not being passed in here. So we're going to say pass in that and that. And we need the sound manager. I think we got one here. We need context. Do we have a context? We do not have a context coming in here. Is that true? Yeah.
I start to wonder how many of these things vary within a single condition manager, and how many could be maybe passed in on the construction of said manager.
That's a really good point. All right, do you want to take that path instead? Do that first?
It's somewhat contradictory with the other idea of forming these things into an object, but it can work, better. Yeah.
Because I think you're right. There's a lot of them that are to do get this working. All right, so there's my to-do right there. Let's go. Let's go look at that.
I'm thinking that the nameplate renderer, for example, is the kind of thing where you have one per condition manager, perhaps. Is that right?
All 3 of these. Yeah. All 3 of these are there. Yeah. So
in fact, anything that the sort of hint there is the manager / renderer. It's like, I'm capable of doing many instances of this one thing, but I do it in the same way. So just keep me around.
So I'm going to just start hacking like crazy. Anytime I see those, I'm deleting them.
Oh dear.
No, it's going to be good. Wait. Reset. Oh, because we've gone full circle. Have we? I think. Wait. What's going on here? Yeah, I just deleted them. Restack player conditions.
So you were about to pass these things in because the method currently requires them.
Yeah, but
kind of the idea here is to make it not required.
I know, I get it. I didn't realize this was the code I had already written. I was like, wait, this should be compiling. Why don't I have the other parameters there? All right, I'm good. Okay, so there's restack player conditions. Gonna kill those two out of update hourglass. Hold on. Not gonna do these here. We're in a different class now. We're in player stat manager. I'm gonna only work in. I'm gonna be
careful,
discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Update player
Condition
conditions.
manager is the one.
All right, now let's look for find its constructor.
You are in two different ones. You're in a condition manager and a player stat manager. Both are being modified.
No, I don't think so. I think I just undid my player stat. I had to call to update hourglass, and I got rid of it. I got rid of it.
They're both listed as modified. Were they modified for different reasons then?
Where are you showing that they're modified?
At the top, there's a little asterisk in the title of this file, playerstatmanager.ts.
Oh, the file's been modified. Yes, it's been modified because of this call here to restack player conditions.
Oh, of course,
see the line right there?
Yes.
That's what. I was saying, wait, is there something else on my screen? But we're good. Okay.
It's a good point. We will obviously have to modify the calls to the condition manager whose methods are now being changed. Yes.
All right. So let's go look at this. Where's that condition manager? I'm just going out. Player stats, condition manager, update draw, load resources. Where's my new? There it is right there. So I want to pass in. I'm going to do this not here, but I'm going to do it when we call load resources. Can you adjust that at all, Karen?
Yeah, I've been fighting with it. I really have. I just moved it and I just moved it and now it's still doing it.
There is a dial. If you open up the back, there's a dial on the white piece of plastic that you can turn. Find that little tiny dial. There's a white, yeah, in the back.
Okay.
And if you turn it all the way in one direction, you should be able to fix that. Okay, so here we're going to say this dot condition manager dot set or initialize maybe, I don't know. And then I'm going to pass in those guys right there. So these guys are, it's really going to be this, this, and I should really consolidate the double this right there. This is going to be this dot, what is it, sound, Dragonfront sounds, like that. Let's go into here, declare it. Let's just replace all of this with that. Sound manager. And I think I can do a public here. It doesn't have to be a...
Yeah.
Nope, maybe it does.
Oh, I need to add a constructor.
It's got to be a constructor. All right, fine. So, fine, we're going to do that. And then we're going to say... I hate how it generates these, like, up here. It's just like, why would you do that? It's pretty clear I don't want that. Then I'm going to say this dot I get player. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to declare all of these guys as well up here.
Yep.
And I want to consolidate. I want to consolidate these two, I think, right here. But I'm just doing this for now because this is what we're using and passing in as the parameters. Yep. So we're going to do this for all of these. We'll say this dot that is equal to that.
It's very easy to try and overreach when you're sort of midway through one refactoring. You think, oh, but I could improve this as well. Yes, but you pile greater risk.
Sure.
To what you're doing.
I agree. All right, so let's keep going through. Go ahead. What you want to say?
No, that was it.
All right, so there we go. Now, anything that accepts one of these, the nameplate renderer, I'm getting rid of it. We're not going to pass that in. So I'm just going to kill that. Kill that. That's all good. Get target X. Ooh, this is in get player target X. That's okay. We can come in and go this dot that. This dot that. What's really weird is I get player X needs another I get player X passed into it as a parameter.
That is a little strange, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
But that's a squirrel for another moment.
Yeah, okay. I like your point on that. I like that. Roy's my friend. That's a squirrel for another moment. All right, get diagnostics. We're going to get rid of that. And the nameplate renderer, we're going to get rid of that. And then we're going to come down and throw this in front of these guys.
I always like this kind of old school refactoring, particularly when obviously automated facilities are not available. If we are deleting a definition which causes compile errors, and then you go fix the compile errors in the natural way, which has, we've got an established this dot because we provided that alternative. And basically now you're watching your error count lower and lower and lower. You know that if we've done this properly, when the error count hits 0, we're back to where we should be with neater code.
Yep. Get available namespace left of plate. We're not going to pass in that, and we're not going to pass in that to that. So let's go to that and go fix this one. Yep. I like your suggestion, Rory. I really do. I think it's a good observation.
It feels like most of our fixes here are deleting code. And if we're deleting code, we're not having to maintain that code anymore.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Which just makes everything overall a lot easier.
It's brilliant. All right, here we go. This dot get plate width. Left edge, we don't need that anymore. We don't need that anymore. Better. Code is getting better. Better. Deleting code is always good. I agree with that, Coding Gorilla. How you doing, Coding Gorilla? Glad to have you with us today. That, and we don't need that. Okay.
That felt slightly weird. We took out a sound manager. Do we have sound manager as one of our things?
We took out a sound manager, but we hadn't taken it out. I drilled into it. If we hit escape to jump back, it should look good now. There it is. It looks good right there. So this needs to be a this. Okay, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just keep tabbing through here. Looks good. That's good. Okay. What else do we got? Way better. No. Why? I don't know. It's goopy and sticky and gross. This is not not saving the day at all. All right. Look at you guys coming in at the same time.
Whoa! Clean up aisle 3. Need like a drag net, or maybe just a big scoop on the back of that jet.
Hey, Mark. Pudding says, hello, Mark and
Jesse.
Rory. How you guys doing? We're doing good.
We are.
Okay.
Code quality is improving. It's great stuff.
Yeah, we'll see. We're working our way through it. We're kind of like, as I go through this code, I'm just like, oh, man.
That's okay. I have no plans to mention just how many places we appear to use a context.
I don't think there's... I don't trust that I want to hold context and initialize that at the beginning. I do not. I'm not quite there yet. Sound manager, update conditions. Let's go in there.
Pudding's asking, did we solve yesterday's issue?
Yeah, we're working on it.
Well, there's definitely improvement.
We're going through and we're getting rid of all of these parameters that we could have initialized at the beginning. I think, Pudding, you were commenting the other day on how it seemed like the lines were really long. What was the issue again? Well, I think I can demonstrate it here. We've got like kinds of some overlapping of pieces. If I hit restack, everything kind of moves and you see, oh, okay.
Unoptimized stacks.
Yeah.
There we go. We have a theory that we can detect that a stack is inoptimal simply by looking at the internal data and then trigger a restack only on that basis. Just before we implemented it, we thought, let's make the code a little better first.
Yeah, let's clean up the code so we don't have to, do all of these things. So it kind of works, but then there's also, we can get into a bugged state where if we keep mashing the buttons. There we go. Oh, we were there for a moment.
Actually, that's an interesting question. Is this bug solely always represented by 2 tiles being in an overlapping state? Or is it possible to have, let's say, 6 tiles occupying positions 1 through 7?
Isn't that the same thing? 6 tiles in one position through 7?
If there's only,
you mean,
6 tiles,
no
so
overlapping.
In addition.
Yeah.
No overlaps.
I think that's possible too.
Okay, so that'll be one of the things that we
But I'm
don't
not sure.
detect, maybe, in that first algorithm anyway.
Yeah. So we're kind of going to, our approach to this is to get everything in the right spot using our existing code, detect when there's a problem, and when there's a problem, just fix it. That's the approach we're going on right now. We might find the bug that makes it just all perfect to begin with. But this is like one of these things that is, I think, falls under the category that this is actually kind of ideal example for when it makes sense to find a problem in the data and simply repair it rather than try to prevent the problem from ever occurring. And I'll explain why.
It's like a checksum exercise, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, you get a checksum error, let's pack it again, or let's do it again, and now it goes away. So if this was a competitive product, if this is a product that was selling or something like that, this would not be the approach. We would throw more devs at the problem until it was solved. And it's probably a problem, to be honest, that could be solved in a couple hours of intense scrutiny and with diagnostics, some code written to reveal what's going on. But like I say, there's a couple factors that make this ideal. One is that it's easily fixed by just executing the restack like that. Pudding says, what's happening is that a tile is floating its way to the final position as you delete another one gets added again right away, and it's the same relative positioning. That might be true. In other words, if we do this slowly, we may not be able to reproduce, right? That might be exactly what's going on. I take it rid of here. It's only when I've got the button mashing, right? These are all seemingly coming into the correct places, not overlapping, it appears. Is sleep overlapped? Sleep might be overlapped. Let's get rid of sleep and see. Because if it is, so there is a chance for overlapping even when we're moving slowly. So, yeah. It's
thing is,
like a conspiracy.
If there is a gap, of any kind, then the only tile that should target that as its final location is the one place, quote, higher in that stack. No incoming tile should be trying to target that. So my question is, why do 2 tiles ever get told to have the same final location?
I think, what my suspicion is? The answer is like it's a greater than equals versus than a greater is what I'm kind of suspecting something like that I've got like a small little problem in, detecting when where to put the new sprite. That's kind of what I'm
That's
thinking.
a good answer. Yeah.
Okay, just note here, remove conditions by ID and frame index. This one needs to keep its sound manager passed in because, and here the same thing, because what's happening is with the glow, we're not sending the sound manager in because we don't want any sound played, but for the conditions we do. So that just keeps us from doubling up on sounds.
Okay.
So, design pattern says race condition because of animations. This is a bit painful to solve, but I'm not sure if that situation here. I actually totally agree with you. Pudding. I don't think it's a race condition. I think it's a logic error. That's what I'm feeling right now. But it's a hard to see, find logic error. To find it, we're going to need to build something that says, here's the visualization of everything, and now here's the visualization of things you can't see, and do it one step at a time as each thing changes. At that point, you could be in a room with the proper visualization, and once the bug was revealed, everybody in the room would be like, that's it. Right, you'd see it. It's just a matter of trying to get to see it. Cody really says can't really get into race conditions. Yeah, I don't think it's a race condition issue. I think it's a logic error, but it's similar to race conditions, similar to concurrency problems, in that the condition we throw up onto the stack, its final position is known before it gets there. And that final position can be used in determining other things as well when things are, for example, removed or whatever. So there's a little bit of a sense of a time, just like in concurrency, you've got time is kind of the question of where are we? You've got a similar kind of where are we situation here. That might be related, but I don't think it's the same. I don't think we've got an issue where because it's moving up, there's another problem because as it's moving up, we know its final position. We know where it's going to be. And as it's moving up, we know how many tiles are there, so we get it in the right position, right? If we have overlapping, I don't know if I can get to an overlapping. Let me mash again, try to get to an overlapping, and then I'll put on a new one. There we go. So we've got overlapping, and the next one that comes up is going to actually replace the 3, I think. So if I do unconscious, yeah, and the next one will be right next to it. Oops, I got rid of that one. Now the next one should be on the 3 again.
Yep, because that's based on the count, that's the right location.
So now we got several over on top of the 3 right there. So if I get rid of blinded, so it seems like that worked, a restack.
So some removals trigger this correct resorting and some don't.
Yeah. So, so anyway, that's kind of what we're looking at. All right, so let's keep looking for, what is it? I get player X. Here's my initialize. Yep, that's good. This one's questionable. Let's throw a to-do in here, Rory, so we feel like good programmers. To-do. Why do we need... Oh, I bet I know why. It's not... This needs... Well, it says it's both. And get... Here's why. Yeah, it needs a floater. A text floater is what it needs. This piece is questionable here, I think. Get player X. Let's go look at the implementation of it. I guess we're actually finding it now. Yeah, we could actually simply change this to a this and get rid of this.
Nice.
I think this got here because it was a method that was... Now, did we lose? No, we didn't. Okay, cool. I was going to say, did we lose our connection to this one because we changed the signature? Okay, so let's look at now who's calling it. I don't think we need this anymore. It should be player index. Okay. Design pattern says, pudding says, have a handling key for this. Add all conditions as
it's
a group.
A little further up than that. So design patterns is talking about whether something called a humble object might be helpful. This is a design pattern of some description I'm not personally familiar with. Not sure, however, doesn't know the code base very well. Fair enough. Wow. Might be worth having a look at.
I have not, I've not seen, I don't know about a humble object either. I need to go figure that out. What is a humble object? Yo, Mark! What's the chat room saying?
Pudding has a plan.
Where's your sorting method? Okay, I'll show you just a second. Design pattern. I'm like so intrigued. I want to read this, but I also want to show my sorting situation. The sorting method is the best one is the one through the restack player NPCs. Restack NPC. Go to solution, NPC conditions. It's probably here. I guess we go to animate sprites into position. And we're actually not sorted going in here. Sprites to animate come from get sprites above. This is where we sort them. So sort sprites is here, and based on the world view, it makes one of two decisions here. And it goes through all the sprites. It gets the data from both of them that has the condition state, and does the y, sorts by its final y and its final x positions is what it does. What's interesting is the, where's the add condition method? Okay, I'll show you that. Let's go find that. Add condition. Add condition is here. And I just want to make sure this is what's being called. Yeah, so it's being called in update conditions.
So Pudding's now suggesting making a call to the sort method on the first line of the add condition.
Oh. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to do it. I want to do it not here. I kind of get that, but we're kind of in a for loop. There could be several conditions added in one call to update conditions if we toggled two states. I don't think it's happening yet, but it could be happening. I don't think I want to do that yet. But I agree that that is a way that we could potentially solve this. But I think that the add condition actually does a pretty good job. What's going on here, though? What's going on here? It needs a sound manager. Add condition. Get rid of the sound manager.
We've got to be careful that we don't stop a sound manager being passed to something which ultimately needs to pass it further for that issue you had earlier.
Yeah, I don't think the problem is ever actually an add condition, to be honest. Add condition, every example we've seen, it puts it in the right spot. The problem must be in remove condition.
That seems like a fair statement, yeah.
So if we're going to do it anywhere, Pudding, I think it should be after we call remove. I'm going to do the same thing here. Pass in this.soundManager to it. And we're going to prepare condition for entrance. We're going to keep that sound manager in there. We want to keep that. So it's the second place where we want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, this bug right here, where this was sometimes not showing, devs can reproduce that now. It's actually, they weren't able to reproduce it in the regular version of Visual Studio. It was in the enterprise version they were able to reproduce it.
Oh, interesting.
I was like, get your butts on that bug and fix that. So we get a call on remove condition. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Should be the same idea in theory. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's because every time we've tried to add one, if I add one right now, it nails the correct position.
It knows where it's going.
Even if everything is wrong, it still gets it in the right spot. We just saw that demonstrated. But I think that sometimes removing doesn't always clean up. I think that's the problem. There you go. There, we just saw the problem. It took two from the end and moved them up into the wrong position. And so the remove has got the bug. The cool thing about knowing this now, though, is that now we know where to look for it. It's not as elusive. Show us the magics. So let me hit restack. Restack gets them back. Restack is good and correct. The one thing I do want to change about restack is I think I do want to sort them. I think I almost want to sort them by hold on. There's something a little crazy going on here. If we look at our restack method, I don't think we're actually I think this is where we call it X, is we'll get the right edge in game creature. Okay, that's fine. So we come in here, and then we simply just call, we do this get stack starting Y, so that's going to figure out where the Y position is for the stack. Problem could be on this line of code here, actually. Then we call restack NPC conditions 4. We get all sprites from stack. Those are the ones we want to move. And then we animate them into position. Now, all sprites from stack, are we sorting these? We're not. But notice what we're doing. We are just pushing them and adding them. We're not changing their final X or Y, right?
Yeah.
Then animate sprites into position also, I think, does not change their final X or Y, does it? Does it? It eases them into a position based on, no, it does not. So their final X and Y is not changed by a reset. This could also be the bug. We're using the final X and Y, but we're not updating it when we move it. So what we need to do here is we need to say sprite.data as, so I think this is part of what we need to do. What is it called? Condition state. And I need to create a new variable of this type. I think we're similarly having problems on the remove. I think that's my theory. So then I want to say if, this I want to turn into a constant. If condition state, then I want to say condition state dot final X is equal to target X and target Y, I think. But I might have to subtract. I think I might have a problem here in that this is going to, these pieces, final X and Y, have this subtracted. My gut feel tells me the final X should really be this. That's what I think the code is. That's my gut feel on it, not knowing, not seeing the numbers.
Okay.
See, all you needed was pudding. Pudding's also asking, why isn't it updating on its own? Well, because I've got two different objects. I've got an ancestor hierarchy called, I'm using Sprite Proxy, and I'm essentially augmenting it by tacking on this condition state onto its data property. So it's holding this additional data. So now, yeah, so I can't really, so it's using aggregation, I can't really change Sprite Proxy to be aware of condition state. So that means if I make any changes to it, I've got to do this here. I wonder if I've got any other calls to ease in here.
The chat room is on fire!
It is on fire.
This is true.
It's totally on fire. And I got rid of my chat back panel on every single one except for this one, but I think I'm getting rid of it on this one, so this scene. I got rid of them on all the other scenes. Okay, wait. So we've got another ease here. Move and scale condition sprite. Move player conditions. That's not what I think I want. I think Karen's like, what's going on? Mark having a party in his office again? What the heck is going on?
Most days, yeah.
Okay, I just want to, let me tell you a little bit about Karen. She will frequently take my phone and she'll start going through it like this. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm looking for affairs. And I am with her 24/7, Rory. 24/7.
So you're saying the opportunity for affairs is pretty limited.
She's like, you're very clever. Like,
I slept in the other day.
Yeah, she's like, I just heard you dancing. She starts searching the office for hidden affair
A pole
people.
that comes down in the middle of the office.
Well, that does exist. That's right up there. So anyway, Screwtread says, now it's a party. Yeah. F for Karen. She doesn't know about the Dancing Academy yet. Dance Battle. Does Dance Battle work?
The Dance Academy.
Did Dance Battle work, Coding Gorilla? I wasn't sure. I didn't see it pop up or not.
I think I saw it.
Yeah, it should be selected now. If I scroll up and down, I should see it in my list. I can't see which one is highlighted in OBS. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Dance Battle looks like it worked. Okay, cool. All right, excellent. Dance Battle. Oh, note to self, Dance Battle looks like it didn't have the dice on it. Let's go back up to Dance Battle a second.
I would say Dance Battle sounded quiet compared to normal, and possibly compared to some others.
It looks okay to me in terms of its volume. Let me just come in here and paste a reference to that. So we've got the dice on there now as well. And come back over to players. All right. And refresh that. This is not good. Do you see that bug? When I refresh, so what's going on is...
It's not ditching the old data.
The old data, yeah, somehow it's because the sprites are still there, is what's happening. I am refreshing in the app, and so the app is saying, okay, let's send all those conditions over again. In fact, every time I think I hit refresh here, it gives me a new set.
That's a serious condition.
That's not good. If I remove, oh, that was not one of the ones there. Fatigued is on there. If I remove fatigued,
Nice.
if I hit restack, well, at least that works. That's not bad. So restack works. Anyway, we were kind of looking through that. Let's keep going here and fix these compile issues here. Stack conditional sprites. I bet we don't have a sound manager here. Is that true? Cool. And I bet we don't have one here. Okay, that looks good. Okay, got that problem. We got to still fix that. Interesting. It looks better. All right, let's look at our error list. Got some problems. Okay. That's one of them. Any others we need to worry about? Get rid of this. Sometimes I do that. I look at a comment, I'm like, if that is not useful to me now, I'm just getting rid of it. So no more bug. No, I don't think that's where we are yet. I think we still have got to go fix that bug. But the code change we made to modify the final X and Y was certainly interesting. I think what I want to do is actually step through that code. I want to set a breakpoint on that code to make sure that the code I added, the minus origin X or plus origin X and plus origin Y, I want to make sure that code is still good. That was in restack NPC conditions. Let's go. Let's continue. Let's get our error list first. Okay, that. I'm going to comment this out so it's not in our bug list. I hate that. Now, this bugs me about Visual Studio. I'm double clicking this and it says, okay, I got you, but it's not showing it to me because it's off screen. Yeah, I don't like that. Animate sprites in position. This is going to be a this.sound manager. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not sure.
I think you can hit F8 and jump to next error.
Oh, yeah. You know, that's right. I've never really used that. Okay, what's going on here?
It's quite nice. It works with several lists. It also works with find results. F8 and Shift F8 go up and down said list, whichever one you've interacted with most recently.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to hit F8. All right. This is coming from the player stat manager. We don't need this here. What do we need here? We probably don't need any of these. We need the canvas here. The context and the players. Okay, good. That one's good. F8 again. Sound manager, I bet we don't need. Yep, he's expecting hue shift. I think we don't need this guy. Okay. Update player targeting. Oh, this is the player stat manager. We should do the same thing with the player stat manager at some point in time.
Yeah.
Okay, let me hit F8. No more errors? Okay, so no more errors. I want to look at, what is it? NPC condition restack is the one I want. All the errors. Yeah. Enemy sprites into position. This is the code I want to step through.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that my final X and Y, the numbers here are the ones I'm expecting to get. They correspond to the similar final X and Ys that we had before. That's what I'm looking for. So I think I want to set a breakpoint here. Can I run? I wonder if I can run if I've already got the thing running like we're doing. Let's try it. We'll see if we can run. Because I've already got this running here. This overlay is already running in this window. That's to support all the frames and things we're doing here. I don't know if this is going to work or not.
Don't know.
As I recall, no, it doesn't look like it worked. Yeah, it's locked. So if I'm going to step through it, which I think I need to do, I got to close this down. So I'm killing this. I'm also going to kill the other one. So you guys are going to lose control of the chat room from the chat room. You're going to lose control of Mr. Announcer Guy from the chat room as I break these and kill these. We'll bring him up in a second. But let's get this so we can step through it. Just use Chrome? Yeah, but I can't step through it if I'm using Chrome. I can't step into the code. And I really feel like I need to look at it.
I think you can.
You think I can?
Just not in Studio. It's got its own debugger facility. Firefox got similar as well.
Yeah.
It's not as convenient as Studio, not as intuitive, because things like F5 will refresh the whole page rather than run. But it is possible.
Yeah, Screech Rat, you had control. You had control. It's better not to know. It's better. And yeah, I can use the Chrome. All right, now I'm feeling like I want to do it. But we got the two pieces up and running. What am I going to do? I'm going to just keep on the path I'm on is what I'm going to do. So this is on the back game, which is the one that the back overlay, which is loaded. So this is the one that's loaded right now. Pretty sure this is not going to work. Oh, sorry, Coding Gorilla. Coding Gorilla tried to come in under the radar, but then we shut everything down, restarted it. That's all right. It's a nice evening out there, wherever Coding Gorilla is.
Yep.
Okay, I've got my breakpoint in here, waiting to be initialized. We need to restart our D&D app, which I'm going to do that right now. So that's starting up. Yeah, so in terms of controlling things, you can say, you can type in Mark, like,
Mark!
doesn't have to be all uppercase like that. Was that Coding Gorilla?
There are lots of things you can type in.
You leaving it? You're going to leave, Rory?
I got 10 minutes. I'll still be.
Oh, you're just demonstrating. Okay.
I'm just demonstrating.
All right,
now,
cool.
yeah.
All right, so let's see what we can do here. Let's target. All right, we've got the targeting. Let's go into conditions. Let's throw some in here. So we've got several in here. We've got 7 of them. Let's take out, let me take out the last one, poisoned. What's interesting in taking that out, I didn't see its normal animation that I was expecting. Let me take out petrified. Yeah, I'm not seeing the explosion animation. What's going on there? It feels like we have a bug. No? There's no water here.
Awesome!
Why don't I see the explosions? That's like
Mark
really
is
weird. Coding Gorilla. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to hit the restack button. We should get that breakpoint. Good. Let's see what I want to compare it. So my final X and my target X, it looks like I do not need to add it. Yeah, I do not need to add it. Okay, so I was mistaken about that. All right, that's the thing I wanted to run and do a breakpoint on. Okay. All right, let's, I think, close down and restart the regulars, and then we'll, if we need to do any more stepping through, we'll do it only in Chrome, as suggested. Okay, so these should already be built. I just want to take the parts that are running, shut them down, and then restart. Anything else up and running? Okay. Also, in times like this, I think I have to actually kill Chrome to... Okay, that's been done. Now I'm going to start them up by hand. 1, 2... And I got to restart this guy too, because Signal R gets disconnected, I guess. It seems to be our experience. So I think in our delete, we need something similar to this. And I think, well, our delete is just problematic. It's not intelligent. That's where the bug is. It's in the delete. Okay, have I started those up? Let me double check, make sure all of those are running. Looks like they are all running. Let me now refresh in the live stream. I'm going to refresh. Hold on, I've got some screens jumping in here. Refresh each of these pages. There's one. Make sure I'm doing a refresh cache. The die roller is not refreshing like I'm expecting it to. How did we break the die roller? That doesn't make sense. And let's do the same with the drone game. Drone game is also not. Wait, that means I know what's going on. It means we've got a problem here in this guy. Okay. Oh, it stopped it. Gee, okay. Let's go restart it again. Why did it stop it? What's my problem? Nope, still not good. I think the problem is going to be fixed by closing this down. Maybe closing this down too. And let's try one more time, see if we can start it up. Overlay manager, starting it up. Yep, that was it right there. Okay, let's go back in again, and we're going to go to the front overlay, refresh it, the dice overlay, refresh it, and the back overlay. These are now working. And the drone game, refresh that. And now let's play some music for Code Rush there. And is this going to work if I refresh now? Nope, I got to restart this too, apparently. Okay, get that going.
Does this even work?
Yeah, that's a good question. Have you tried rebooting? We're doing everything but rebooting.
And maybe rebuilding the PC as well. Reinstall Windows, you know.
Have you tried replacing your liquid cooling? Okay, there we go. Now we're clean. And the standard IT answer. Let's see. Let's start up. Start Visual Studio. Yeah, so I think Visual Studio locks it when you do that debug run, even though you've stopped it.
Yeah.
Really? Coding Gorilla. That's what you want to do. It's not fixed. We just restarted, guys. Don't get excited yet. And now, let's see.
That's a bug.
Okay, so we got a couple up here now. Let's go into conditions. I'm not hearing the sound effects.
No.
Going off rails.
We're not hearing the sound effects. That could also explain why we lost the animation. There's an issue. The sound manager, I bet, is not created at the time we're creating it. We're passing it in. Let's go look at Dragon Front sounds and see.
Yeah, we've got fields for those. Did we necessarily create like a new sound manager at that level? Is it always undefined?
It's here in the constructor. And this is called after the constructor, I think, right? What is this? What's this? This is my load resources call. That's called afterwards. So Dragon Front Sound should be valid. And Dragon Front Sounds is the sound manager, I think, right? It's an iSound manager, extend sound manager, yeah, which is an iSound manager. It is. So why is that failing? Now I want to go up into Chrome, just give me an instance of this thing running, and just see if I've got anything. I thought we kind of did this recently, but I'm expecting some console errors here. There are like no errors and no animation. Okay, so we've broken something. Okay, let's see if we can find that. I know, Rory, you got to leave soon, so, you know.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that there's no errors because when you don't pass a sound manager or pass one that is somehow defined as undefined, it goes, aha, that's a valid state, therefore I won't play any sound.
Yeah, look at this. Condition blast, add scripted. This, we only add it if sound manager is valid. Okay, so let's look at remove condition with animation. I'm pretty sure I had the valid sound manager I was passing in. Here, that sound manager is null. But here I'm passing in this .sound manager, which is initialized here in initialize with Dragon Front Sounds, which should be non-null.
Like a pretty reasonable, yeah. Is it initialized by the time? Sorry, is the Dragon Front Sounds initial is it defined by the time that initialize is called?
No, it's not.
Is it sequencing issue?
No, I thought it was, but I just realized super calls load resources. Super. I'm pretty sure we go in here, we'll find load resources. Please? No? Oh, I thought for sure. Hold on, I did feel like. How's load resources called? Let's go find load resources. Well, that's right up here. Load resources. Maybe it's coming from the constructor. Where I'm looking for the call that's not in super. I mean, that's not in. Here we go, in run. So we get call run.
The run
for the
is
game.
Potentially quite late in sequencing. Because don't you run things after you've initialized them?
I create it, but maybe it's actually happening. It's happening from run, right? That's what we just were. Initialize load resources start. Yeah. So initialize load resources is there. I'm thinking now. I want to kind of get back to where we were.
Right, Mark. I think this is probably the time where I'm going to have to leave you.
Okay, no worries. Thank you, buddy.
But I will be back tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow.
And we will conquer the remaining bugs. To be fair, there's probably not going to be any. I think you'll have sorted it by the end of this.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll see
All right,
what
bud.
happens.
I'll see you then.
All right, bye. Let's go back to Dragon Front Sounds. It was up here. I'm almost thinking I want to do this. I want to swap those around and see if that fixes it. Nope, I can't do it. Must be the first statement. What? All right. What if I did this? At this point, it's got to be there. What about condition manager? Where am I creating a new instances of that? It's up there, so that's part of the constructor. I'm going to try this and see if that has any impact on it. This is the back overlay. All right, let's refresh that. Yep, nope, it has no impact on it. It's still as if Sound Manager does not exist. What am I missing? I gotta look. It's probably then, if this is not the problem, then the problem is down below. Yeah, I'm very definitely passing in Sound Manager here. Let's throw that out. Let's refresh over here. Yeah, Sound Manager is clearly undefined. How is that possible? It's yeah, it's only assigned here and initialize. Let's do that, and I don't know, just for crazy, just make sure we're not going entirely crazy and that our code is not somehow cached, and let's just put all that in there. Let's refresh this and refresh. Yeah, it's undefined. Well, wait, we're not seeing, hold on, we're not seeing the other pieces. Oh, hold on. I'm in the Sound Manager, the initialize call. Hold on, I know what's going on now. I've got a front game and a back game. I was debugging the back game. This one is good. This is like if we were to come in to our human player targets and add some conditions. There's the sounds. And then, so that one works. We need to do the same thing. We need to initialize the condition manager from the other side is what we need to do. So we need something similar to this call on the back game. Okay, so that is good. This is good. So let me tab the next reference on console. That's good. Okay, let's go to the Dragon back game. Do we have a console manager here, or a condition manager here, I mean? Where do we find the condition manager reference? So we've got it here in Dragon Front Game. Oh, it's an in-game creature manager. Gets so quiet after Rory leaves. It does get a little quiet, doesn't it? Trying to say Rory has a big mouth? No. I'm not trying to say that. I need to pass those features down to it is what I need to do. So I think it's going to be... It's awesome. All right. Here we go. And the sound manager. Okay. So that's my initialization right there. Then I want to call initialize out from somewhere that's calling load resources on this thing. Dragging back sounds.
My new mic.
Maybe. Yeah, I think it looks good.
Do you, sir, please.
Hey. No questions. No questions, please. No questions.
Sir, please. Can you just
Hold
tell
on.
us? Just a minute, sir.
I'm
Minute
trying to
of your
write some
time.
code, please. Oh my gosh. Looks like this is not a text floater. Where am I using the text floater part in here? That's a little tricky. I also want to move this to maybe do I have like, what do I have in here? Okay, there we go. Firepower's out there. Firepower, I didn't see you before. Sorry about that. Good to have you here with us. This guy funks. I'm feeling the need to create some more fanfares. I like Firepower as a name as a fan for a fanfare. Firepower, if you want us to create a new fanfare for you, similarly, this guy funks. Let me know, especially if you have like a special thing you like a hobby or whatever that you're into. I can include that in the fanfare. It's just something I do as like a little hobby. But what the fanfare does is when you say something in and say hello, your fanfare gets to play and everybody gets to know you're here. So this guy funks and Firepower, I'm offering that up to both of you guys. Let me just make notes of that. No guarantees on when those will be ready. Sometimes they take like up to 2 weeks. But I'm going to just add these up here as well. New fanfares. Totally subjective, by the way, on doing this. It's based on, perceived, contribution and also sometimes on the coolness of your handle as well. Is it an audio or like that overlay? It's a video overlay type thing. So here's an example of one we haven't seen in a while. Oh no! It's getting bad. Hey, get those bad guys! Get him! Get him! This guy too! Get that guy! Get him! There we go. That's an example. That was Legendary Moose. We haven't seen Legendary Moon in a while. But yeah, something like that. So yeah, if you've got something that you want to do, want to tell me a little bit about yourself, what you like, that sort of thing. Sometimes I can include those pieces in there. Sometimes it just might be your name showing up in big fiery letters. But yeah, I like the firepower. I also like firepower that the icon I always see with you is it's for the Direct Relief Charity, but it's got this kind of snow-like icon, and I love it next to the name Firepower. It's like, I love the idea. For yours, I'm thinking of a giant snowflake on fire. That's kind of cool. But I don't know. Let me know. And I'll keep notes here if that's something that you guys want or interested in. Okay, so I got a problem here. My initialized call is looking for both an iGetPlayer and an iText floater. I think I'm going to need to separate these. Is what I think I'm going to need to do. Let's first figure this out. Where are they? Where are the float calls, float player text calls made? Did I go all the way around? I'm not seeing anything to float the player text yet. I don't think we need it to be a text floater. Let's try this. Jiu-jitsu, says this guy Funks. All right, make a note of that. Speaking of jiu-jitsu, have you seen Wicked Blue Ninjas? Did you guys hear something? What was that? That guy. So that's Wicked Blue Ninja. I'm not sure if you've seen him with this guy Funks. Wicked Blue Ninja shows up sometimes. Cool. Someone choked out into the Shadow Realm. All right, we'll see what we can do. Let's see, where was I? Oh, I want to try this. And I want to see if I've got problems. Let me try that. Where are we here? This initialize. It's not a nameplate renderer either. That's true. So we're going to pass in null here for this one. That's okay. We should also have null checks for the nameplate renderer. Just to make sure any calls to it. Do available space left to play? Yeah, we're not going to call this from the other side, so I think I almost don't need to call it to do the null checks there. What else do we have for errors? Anything else? No. Okay, so did that mean we fixed it in the back game? I'm calling initialize with the back sounds. I think that might have fixed it. So let's take our back overlay and refresh it. Send data. Whoops, I'm in the wrong space. Yeah, there we go. Sounds, things are moving up. Okay, good. Okay, so we've got the bug right there. So we just did a remove and we've got the bug. So calling the restack, if we see the bug afterwards, is the fix. So my thought for the workaround on this is going to look like this. We're going to go find the back in, I think, condition manager. There was update in here. No, not that one. Update. No, I guess it was. What was it? Wasn't it update? conditions. Yeah, it was here. I think this is what I think the code is. What's going to look like. Removed. So I'm only going to do this if we removed. If we removed, then I'm going to check to see how things are. You know, what the status of things are in there. We could also do, before we did this, we could do a code review. Because we know the problem is here. And we actually kind of know it's here. It's likely in here or in here are the two problematic calls. And here's my thought. And jumping into this with a code review, my guess is that this is complex and hidden enough. The problem is complex and hidden enough. It's going to take some time to unravel it. Right? I was thinking, well, it was worth a try, but already very quickly, I'm like, oh yeah, no. In order to tell if this is working or not, we're going to need to really see and look inside of it. I suppose it's worth it going into this and saying, well, we could go even further in. Get sprites above. Get sprites above ends up calling get earlier sprites, which, by the way, is also called from here later on. So when we call get sprites above, earlier sprites mean sprites that were put on before you. And get sprites above are essentially get later sprites. We might change this to get later sprites, like this. And all we do to make get later sprites work is we are flipping the world view and then calling get earlier sprites on it. We're also resorting it with the original world view, though. That's what we're doing. So arguably, since both these go in to get earlier sprites, the problem seems to be in get earlier sprites. Hold on, I saw another call that caught my eye. Anybody calling this? Remove conditions. Get num conditions before. Stack height below. Get starting stack Y. This start Y doesn't feel right to me. Starting stack Y. Oh no, this is just the stack height below. Okay, this is going to work if stack height below is right. Get num conditions before. I don't want the number of conditions. Yeah, I'm not using this. Also, look at this. This doesn't look right at all. Num conditions before is returning the length times the condition, scaled condition height. This looks completely wrong. I want it just to return the length, but I also wanted to take into account num columns. This feels like I've got definite problem with this code. This code impacts start Y. Does start Y used inside of animate sprites into position? That's the new Y. It looks like it kind of is. What's going on with new X? The new X should be the far left edge. New X should be the far left edge when we're calling this in. So here, for example, that's the far edge. That makes sense there. That feels okay to me. Get condition right edge. That looks correct to me too. So that X is there. So restack is good. Go back out to my where we were before with the remove conditions. Nameplate left edge. Let's rename this to right edge, because the nameplate's left edge is the right edge of where these are going to be, I think. Maybe call it right anchor. Right anchor, like that. Whoops, I didn't rename it. Like that. Gotta go, best of luck. Thanks, Design Patterns. Guy Funks says, dude, these are great. Can you give a high-level overview of how you make those? Sorry, Guy Funks, I missed that earlier. Tell me what you're talking about. Meanwhile, I think I got a train to cash. And some Legos to build. What's that? It's Miss Smoofy in the house. Miss Smoofy is here for kids. How you doing, Miss Smoofy? What are you saying? High-level overview of how you make those. Let me know what you're talking about, Guy Funks. I'm interested in that, what you want to know there. Okay, animate sprites into position. The right anchor place I think is going to be okay coming in here on the remove condition. Let's double check what's being passed in here. Not nameplate left edge. I want to call this the right anchor. And here, do the same thing, right anchor, remove conditions, and right edge. I'm going to call this the right anchor all the way in. Update conditions. And we're calling from update in-game creature. The right edge, which is here. I'm going to say get condition right anchor. Okay, so we're assuming that is all correct as that comes in and goes down into here. Remove condition, the right anchor is correct. Right anchor is correct. Right anchor is correct. The right anchor is passed in as the new X, which is exactly what I want. It's right there. That's perfect. Mostly graphically overlays. Do you design by yourself? How do they trigger from Twitch API? Yep, exactly. So we've got our Twitch API is listening to chat messages. So when one of our guests, viewers, says something in the chat room, we check to see if they're against the list of folks that we have overlays for, essentially fanfares we call them. And if they are, we simply switch to the fanfare scene and play it. The fanfare scene is created in Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects sometimes to create special effects. We combine stock footage and other kinds of things. I say we, it's really just me. It's just like a hobby of mine I do because I like to learn things. I like to learn how to do things. And so, and then we generate those with alpha channels and we layer them. So like sometimes you'll see things go, like in one of the ones for deep water, a shark will come in, swim around me. I'll actually show you the beginning of that. It's very cool. So I've got water behind me and in front of me. And then a little bit of shark's going to swim around me. Here it comes. It's behind me and now in front of me. And what's happening, right, not to take the magic away, but what's happening is I've got two layers in sync that are playing. One with the shark going behind, and then it fades away as the one in front picks up. But they're in sync, and so you can't tell. So I can create things that move around me, that seemingly go behind me and in front of me, all of those things. It's kind of similar, actually. We've actually got live effects on this. If I go into the Stream Deck and I say, let's bring up my player and go to spells and cast Chaos Bolt. So right here, these effects are done digitally right here. This is not a video. And if I move my shoulder down, you can see behind me, but if I move it up, you can't see. These are going around me, right? They look like they're going around me, but they're really just effects on multiple layers. We built this here on the show. And then if I go ahead and cast the spell, we're going to switch over to a full-on video that was made for the spell effect. These are special effects that are live, but then this is a video that plays to full screen, and we want great performance. And even the dice and stuff, everything's working with layers, things above and below. So the fire's got smoke on top of the die. It's on fire. There's a little black ring of smoke that you can barely see, and then there's fire in the background. Same thing with the poison right there. Yeah, all these kinds of things are happening. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay. All right. So this get stack starting Y looks wrong to me. It looks wrong. Wait. Sorry, it's the stack height below problem. This one's okay. Wait, I'm trying to figure this out. Num condition icons? This, I think, was something different. It looks like I was in the middle making changes and didn't finish it. It looks like I lost focus. I think this used to be something else, but it makes no sense to add the number of condition icons to the height. So the scroll bottom plus the stack height below. What's going on with the number of condition icons that's being passed in here? This condition icon length. Okay, well, upon review, I'm like realizing, oh, there's some problems here. I'm passing in length in here in this place right here. Condition icon length. Oh, now it makes sense if I do that. Okay. And the reason why, so here's what's happening. If the world is normal, we're putting it at 1080 minus the stack height below, whatever that stack height is right there. And then that's going to be the base Y for where we drop things on. That's if we're normal. If we're flipped, it's going to be the bottom of the scroll, which is right about over there, right at that edge there, plus the stack height below, whatever that is, even if it's 0, plus the condition icon length, which is this side edge right here, which means the bottom edge is going to be here. The starting Y is going to be there. Okay. All right, so let's go back to here. The stack height below, I believe this is the problem. This is a problem, at least. Get num conditions before. It's been renamed, but it actually is returning the height. But it's not taking into account num columns. So I want to change this to get stack height before. And I want to incorporate num columns. This could fix us. Interesting. Okay, so I want to say it's the length div num columns, and I want to math.floor that. I think. So if it's 1, 2, or 3, I think it's length minus 1. If length is greater than 0. Or wait. If we've got 3 out there, 3 divided by 3 is 1. So it's the scaled condition height. I think this is right. I think this is right. So this is feeling better than to me now. Let's refresh the back overlay. Let's play around and see what happens. Get rid of fatigued. That looked good. Get rid of invisible. That looked good. Frightened. Ooh, okay, there we had a problem. So there we've got the double up. So not entirely good or perfect. Let me add several more. So why would that fail at the number 2 position? Get rid of poisons. Get rid of paralyzed. Get rid of petrified. Get rid of invisible. Get rid of petrified. It's interesting. So it's like, there's a problem right there. So if let's just try a restack of these. Let's see if I do this. So if I get rid of sleep, then fatigue, let's see what happens. So there's sleep. There's the next one to its right, fatigued. I might have hit a different button. Let me clear all and let's add a bunch. Okay, so let's get rid of 1, 2, 3, blinded, charmed, and then deaf. No, let's do blinded, deafened, and then in the 3rd position over frightened. Okay, that feels like a repeatable sequence that we can figure out. Let's try one more thing now. Let's clear all, bring them all up again. And then I'm going to say, do the same kind of sequence again, blinded, deafened, and now before I hit frightened, I'm going to hit restack. Nothing happened. Now I'm going to hit frightened. Interesting. That's really interesting that by hitting restack, it wasn't reproducible. Let's see if it's reproducible one more time without hitting the restack button. Okay, so blinded, deafened, frightened, reproducible. So that means, here's what my theory is on this. The remove, animate sprites into position is maybe not changing. Oh no, we're doing it right there. So that's called animate. Remove calls this as well as, I think, restack. Yeah, it's restack player conditions, stack condition sprites. I think this is called from another place too. No, not restack player conditions. Move player conditions. Where else? Who else calls animate this? Restack NPC conditions 4. So there it is right there. Animate sprites into position. So we are changing this there. Let's clear all. Let's see if I can duplicate this with fewer out. 1, 2, 3. I can. So I can duplicate it with fewer out. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I totally can duplicate it on that 3rd one. Sorry, 1, 2. All right. 1, 2, and then hit the restack button. We see no changes, but when I click frightened, it now works correctly. So the problem seems to be happening by the time I hit the 2nd one, the deafened one. In other words, the problem may not be here, but the problem is definitely now the problem here is here. Oh, it's this. I'm getting out of there. I'm not setting the new final X and Y. That's got to be it. Get rid of that. Let's refresh. I think that's it. All right, clear all. I love that I have a reproducible case here now. And so blinded, deafened, and now frightened. Oh, curses. I thought that was totally going to be it. Wow. Could it be like I'm not refreshing it? I'm going to try. I'm like, so my hunch was so strong that that was going to solve it. I want to come over here and just verify that it in fact didn't solve it in a separate instance of this. So let's refresh it. Clear all. Add them and then take them out 1, 2, and 3. Nope. Did not solve it. Okay, so let me do one more thing. Let's kind of look at it. I'm going to look at it over in this space right here. I want to see if I can visually see what's happening here with this. Let's clear all of these. Let's turn off targeting on Denji, so it's just one of them. So we're looking at only one. One. That all looks good. The movement all looks good there. Deafened is the next one. That movement all looks good. And now frightened, let's see what happens when I get rid of frightened. Where does the 1, 3, and 5 go? The 1 moves over to the right, over fatigued. The 1 moves to the right. There it is again. The 1 moves over to the right, under fatigued. At this point, adding something new, like whatever should put it right there, which is where it belongs. The adding is working. Yeah, okay. All right, so I want to review the code one more time. What would cause when I delete one to get the first one of the earlier and move it? I shouldn't move any of the ones earlier. Animate sprites into position. Remove condition with animation. Sprites to animate. Get later sprites. Okay. So get later sprites seems like it's actually getting the wrong sprite. In other words, when I get rid of frightened, I should not move 1 or 3. But somehow the sprite in position 1 is being removed. That's the charmed right now. When I start them up, charmed is in the number 2 position. I bet, hold on, I bet when I do this, if I refresh, restack now, I think the charmed, even though it got moved to the left, is still in this number 2 position. It thinks maybe that's the case. If I restack now, that should fix the data. And now I do get rid of deafened. There's a shot that right now getting rid of frightened will work. Nope, same problem. Yeah, get later sprite seems to be failing. Guess it's worth a code review. We go in and call get earlier sprites, passing in the compare condition for that sprite, its final X and Y. Let's go find ease in here. I think we need to fix that too. Let's call in this. This is when we move left and right. So in other words, if I add a new creature, oh, look at that. That was not good. Yeah. I need a delta X that I want to send in here instead for this to work with the columns. Otherwise, it's going to stack those up. I'm going after that bug right now because that one is a definite bug that's going to be visible. We need to fix that. The question is, what's my delta X? Here. This dot get parchment sprite for creature. That's a sprite proxy. I'm going to get this sprite. I'm going to find out where it is now, and then I'm going to figure out the delta X from that. So parchment sprite.x minus, I want to switch these. That's what I'm going to add now. So move NPC conditionals to, I'm going to pass in delta X instead and change this accordingly. Delta X, should just rename that. So delta X is this, I may have a problem with the library you're using to actually draw the sprites on the screen. It's all from scratch. So we're using just a canvas and drawing right to it. This whole library is built from scratch. That's what we're using. So built on this show actually. Target X minus, all these calls to move sprite to, we're going to subtract the origin X from that to kind of get that. And I think that's the new delta X right there is what that is. So then NPC conditions 2, sprite 2. Now we're not going to have this anymore. And I think all we're going to need to do is, and I'm going to come out of this too as well. And then we're going to say it's going to be our delta X sprite.x plus delta X is what I think it is. Let's see if there's a shot of that working. Let's see if that works. Refresh. Refresh the data. Now let's get rid of number 10. That looks like that worked. That's what I'm talking about. Although something's wrong here. I'm adding these creatures. Oh, now they're showing up. Why did they take so long? What was going on? What is it? That's not good. That's not good at all. I got 2 2s up there as well. What's happening with that? Let's hide all of them for a second. I wonder if it's like a state related issue. No, I'm hitting buttons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They should be showing up and they're not. What is that? Did my code really just impact that? That doesn't make any sense at all. All right, we gotta, I feel like there's errors over here that we're not seeing. All right, let's just look at the basics here. There we go. That's what I want to see. Parchment sprite doesn't exist. Okay, 790 in-game creature manager. The parchment sprite doesn't exist. So I think we need to check to see if it exists or not. I think I just assumed it would always be there and work. Let's see if that fixes it. That looks like that fixed it. You can see in the background it seems to be working, whereas in the foreground here, not working so well because the foreground hasn't been updated yet. Let's update the foreground. Get rid of this. So we're just looking at one of these. All right, so let's try again just to make sure that we didn't break anything there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right, that looks like that's working better. Let's target number 10. Let's go into conditions. Let's add those. Now let's get rid of 4. Everything should slide over. That's what I'm looking for. 1, 2, 3. Good. Everything's still sliding. That's good. That's feeling really good to me. Got any edge case issues in here? Let's target number 7. Turn off 10. All right, and then let's similarly go in and start moving things around. Yeah, it's looking like it's working. Looks like I get rid of what? There we go. That was nice. That was super cool. I actually love that. That just happened without any extra writing at all. It's just the natural way those pieces are falling to make all those land in the right spots. Okay, now let's go in and let's try removing pieces here. So, blinded, charm, exhausted. It's interesting, taking that first one seems to be working all the time. It's the second one that I think is problematic. So if I take out prone and take out sleep, here's where I think we have problems. And poison, let's throw out poison too. Well, I guess that should work. Oops, I didn't mean to do a refresh. There's the bug. Right there. Okay. So I think I'm going after the fixing the broken data approach to this. That's what I think I'm doing. I'm in the wrong file. I'm in the wrong file. Let's go over to Condition Manager. So I'm going to set this to true. After the for loop is done, I'm going to say, hey, if remove condition, then I want to check to see, I think if the stack has errors. Or maybe for now, oh, I actually kind of like that. I'm going to throw this right here as a reminder that I kind of want to check it to see. I want some diagnostics in there. Context. Existing. It wants player stats, which I don't have. I'm going to comment this out for now. Let's work on this one. This is the one that we know we've got. This can fix our problem. We need the creature. Are we passing in that a creature? We just have a creature ID. Okay, so we need to get a creature from it, it looks like. Or we need to change what's going on here. What's going on with the creature? Restack NPC conditions for creature. We're using the index of the creature, which is its ID. All right, let's change this. We're going to say okay. Okay. There's my creature ID. What else do I need? I need an X position. Wow. Wow. Oh yeah, I kind of need that. That does make sense. I need the in-game creature. So the X position needs... Is the X position the right anchor? I think it might be the right anchor. I think it might be. Then we need a sound manager. Which I think is passed in. No, it's just this. Okay. All right. I don't know. We'll play with this. Is this going to go away? It needs an actual sound manager. I bet it could go with an iSound manager and still work. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work. Okay, so now the question is, will this line of code work to kind of fix the bug? Let's try it. Refresh the overlay. Refresh those, clear all. No, got a reproducible sequence, 1, 2, and now here it comes. Whoa, I've already got a problem on 2? What? So the restack is as if the restack didn't work because they weren't in position yet or something. I'm not sure. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Removing 1, removing 2. My restack is causing a problem. Okay. I think we have to hit this bug harder. We have to really understand what's happening with it and why. All right, I'm getting rid of all of this. Let's see if we can reproduce the original. Okay, so I've just commented out that code. This caused a problem before, now that's okay. This was okay. Now if I do a restack, now it works. I can prevent the bug, but if I don't do a restack and I just now hit try, the bug appears. So why does that first one get moved over? That's the question. What's my time? I feel like I need to, stop again, and we'll come back at this, I think, tomorrow is what we'll do. I think we're really close to at least understanding. We've got a reproducible sequence of steps. What do I want to do? Do I want to keep this here? I'll keep this here for now. We have a reproducible sequence of steps. We understand the behavior. So just putting this thing under a microscope is going to, I think, give us, eventually reveal the answer to us. Hopefully that'll be tomorrow. Let me know if there's any other questions you have out there, Firepower or Guy Funks. That was a weird delay. What delay are you talking about, Smoothie? I'm not sure what you're talking about. So yeah, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get some food. We'll give this some thought. We'll come at this again tomorrow and figure out what's going on. I think the problem is low level. But like I said, right now, users can fix this by just hitting the button, get the restack if it's needed. But we'll come after this tomorrow. That's what we'll do. Okay. Let's see who is out there that we can raid. All right, kids, we'll send you over to InstaFluff. Have a good day.